Hi guys, tonight we're going to be talking about selling the financing. So there's a couple of topics that I want to talk about, but the first and main topic that I want to talk about before you even get to that point of selling a home to somebody is pre-qualifying them. If you do not pre-qualify your client, you're not only doing them a disservice, you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're wasting not only their time, but you're wasting your time as well. And it's valuable for both situations. So you have to pre-qualify your client in order to figure out what option you want to put them on in order to be conducive to their needs and Lennar's needs, in order to fit them where they need to be in their loan capacity, whether it be a VA, FHA, or a conventional loan. So that being said, we move on to the different options. The different options loans that we're offering right now are, the first one is spectacular. It is, you cannot miss with it. Right now, there's a couple of issues with buyers. Either they don't have enough money to close on a house, or the biggest one is the interest rates are increasing. They're on the rise. So because they're on the rise, you have to figure out a way to help them with that and breach that gap. So here's what you're going to do. That financing option number one is so great. You cannot miss. What it is and what it entails is you give them 2% loan origination and owner title policy. Wow. That's probably one of the best loan programs that I've ever heard of in the 28 years of selling this, any product that I've sold. And it's going to win. It's going to be great for them. It's going to be great for Lennar. It's going to be great for you. So bottom line is this: you cannot miss with option number one, but you have to pre-qualify. Now, option number two is a little more critical and in-depth. Okay, so option number two is tied to NFC rates. Okay, so we get loan commitment money in increments. We might get 30 million at a time. We might get 20 million. You have to watch that, and you have to be careful because there are about 75 different loan programs out there under that pyramid. And if you mess up and you don't know what you're talking about, then it could not, you may not make a sale. And so therefore you have to be in a great marriage position with your loan officer to sift through those 75 loans to figure out what you want to sell. So here's what we do. My loan officer, Nancy, she's wonderful. We pick out a couple of programs per week, and what we do with those programs is we tweak it to the buyer's needs. What's going to be the best situation for them? Not all of those 75 programs are great programs. There are a lot of great programs, so we pick the 2 or 3 best that we're going to sell that week based on that loan commitment money, and then we're going to fly with it. Okay, so you got to be careful though, and here's where the pre-qualification comes in. If you do not pre-qualify your buyers, you're going to be in trouble, because a lot of those programs are based on their credit score. If you mess that up and you are talking to them and they have shit credit, you're going to be in trouble. You should have gone for option number one. Okay, so bottom line is you have to pre-qualify them. Do not ever post option number two unless you know exactly what you're talking about and that you have talked it over with your loan officer to know exactly what you're selling that week. Okay, so that being said, if you don't know what you're talking about, then you probably want to go back to option number one. Or if you're talking to your client and you're like, we're getting into some credit issues, or they don't have money on the back end, or I'm just not sure, we might not want to pose option number two to them. And this is why. I did that to a buyer last week. Oh my gosh. And I ultimately wrote him, but I messed up twice on that program, and he lost out on that money twice, and here we were into the third week, and 3 times I don't make a mistake. So the bottom line is that third time we got him. But my experience with that option number two is you've got to be very careful. You have to know exactly what you're talking about, and if you do not know exactly what you're talking about, you should not pose that program. Option number one is a safe bet. It is a good program. I hope we keep that program forever, and it's going to be a home run if we do. So that being said, happy selling this weekend, and we're going to have a great weekend. I have an appointment tomorrow, and I'm going to use these 2 option programs, and we should nail them. So have a great weekend. Bye.